insane to chase wealth while you're still trading the time, selling your time.
That's like trying to fill a bucket with holes. See, you want a better house, more savings, net worth, early retirement. So let us ask you, is your income still tied to your time? Because if it is, you are not creating wealth, you are not creating freedom. It's just a glorified way of survival. In saying that, and moreover, today is our
209th Sunday Business Live. Welcome you new followers.
Yeah.
And a little bit about us. Maddie and Sudha, we did that setting our time for money for 23 years. Not few years, 23 years. We worked hard. He worked 60 hours a week. I worked 50 hours a week. We paid the taxes, the usual routine. We tried to save, and we also got into that net worth and also enter into the property world. But we were still,
especially time poor,
still stressed, exhausted, burnt out, because 60 hours and 50, you can only
missed
imagine.
many milestones of our kids.
Really can't imagine how they grew up. But what changed with us?
We realized and we stopped chasing the illusion of net worth without time freedom and started asking the real question. We are working like that non-stop constantly, but how do the 3% create the freedom, both the time freedom and as well as financially, while the rest stay trapped for money, chasing and money, selling time, trading time for money? That's when everything flipped for us.
That's one question.
But first of all, I would like to bring in one thing very important here about the cash flow quadrant. Those who have read that book, those who are not aware about it, I strongly recommend you to read Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Cash Flow Quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. Maddie, I read that book, I know it already. You know it already, but are you living with freedom yet? No. Reading the book without taking action is not reading the book, because that's why it is a top selling book. But still, not all the people who read that book are living with freedom, because there's a lack of action. Robert Kiyosaki has divided the cash flow quadrant into 4. The left side, top and bottom. Top is nothing but employee quadrant, where they always trade time for money and make a capped linear income which is controlled by someone. Whereas, I don't want to get controlled by someone. I want to be my own boss. That's why, again, most of the people from employee quadrant drop into self-employed or small business quadrant, which is a bottom left quadrant. Yes, you own a business, but at the same time, again, still you are trading or selling your time for money. In the name of business, you own a job because you're wearing all the hats. In saying that, 97% of the people in the world are tied up to that left side of the quadrant, and they're holding only 3% of the economy, not living with time freedom, chasing behind the money. When they stop working, money stops flowing. There's no cash flow. Compared to that, on the right side of the quadrant, he beautifully mentioned that the business owner, the top and the bottom investors, especially the business owners, they leverage the system which is having an automation, other people's time, and investors leverage the other people's money, where they don't sell or trade their time for money. Rather, they protect the time, and followed by the leveraging system with automation, OPM strategy, the money they make becomes uncapped, becomes an uncapped leverage income which is not tied to the time. If you not only understand and know, but also make an action towards it, that becomes a game changer. One thing I would like to highlight, only 3% among the world population are in the right side of the quadrant, living with complete time, freedom, and financially as well, creating the true wealth. The 3% is the one transition from the 97 to the living with complete freedom.
Let's give some numbers.
What the system says is going to make you free. Then let's bring you these statistical facts.
Numbers
why
don't lie.
The 97% are staying stuck. Why the 97% are just over broke? Because the system is not broken. The system is beautifully designed to keep you stay just over broke. Over 1.66 million Australians are in mortgage stress as of August 2024. If you say property investment is going to make you free, why mortgage stress? Why still 97% are staying stuck? And not only that, one more thing is, which is quite shocking, average debt of the household is more than $261,000. 80% of the workers, especially in Australia, reports lack of time with their family, with themselves, and only 7% of Australians feels a little bit of control in their financial future, and 7 in 100 Australians are having more than 3 jobs, according to the recent report from 7 News. Why it is so? See, the system is not broken. The system is beautifully becoming successful by keeping you staying stuck, by keeping you just over broke, while you are making an income which is tied to the time, which is nothing but a capped linear income. This isn't just about money. It's about protecting your time. It's about freedom. We believe too. So for time
Yeah,
is
time
money.
is money.
If
Yeah.
you believe, if you keep on believing time is money, you must work hard for money.
Taking 3 jobs, 2 jobs, that's it.
You will be capped. You'll always stay stuck. You'll always play just over broke. Because time is not money, as what they said. Time is life. The moment you realize and understand and start to believe, that is where you start to transition from left side to the right side based on the actions that you take. Because the moment we understood, we found a way to gradually stop selling our limited time for the capped income to start leveraging the system with automation, OPT and OPM strategy. We flipped our quadrant and started building our uncapped leveraged income, which is not tied to the time. Use the system with automation, OPT and OPM strategy. What they said OPT is this one, but actually it is not. It is not. That is where you need to completely shift your mindset. If you're craving for freedom, then you must shift your mindset from what they taught you to what you must know. We started creating our cash flow, and then we made it possible to early retire in 10 months.
He's 10 months and then he helped me to retire too.
Which we were dreaming for retire after 65.
Yeah.
It's not like overnight because it involves challenges, taking calculated risk, not a blind risk, accepting by letting go of ego, accepting whatever we learned before it wasn't serving us, and then changing our mindset, stepping on to learning something new, and keep on consistently committing to ourselves by knowing where we are heading to.
I have a question to ask. After knowing all this, today we educated about cash flow quadrant and how our life changed. I just have one question. What happens if you wait for say another 2 years or another 5 years? You did nothing after hearing, after educating yourself all this. What happens in another 3 years or 5?
Anyway, you're going to be aged 3 years or 5 years
years.
old after 3
Yeah,
or 5
true.
years. So what happens?
If you're still going to stuck in the same job trap after 5 years?
Still going to sell and trade your time for money, believing one day, someday.
Yeah, not only that, how long are you going to say, I can't afford this?
If you say, I can't afford this, you must understand this one thing, which is going to really trigger you. If you say, what I earn is not enough, or I can't afford it, is it the primary problem, or is it the symptom of what is actually holding you back? Ask yourself, isn't it the symptom of what actually is holding you back? Then you must find a primary source of what makes you to tell, I'm financially struggling, I can't afford this, whatever I make money, it's not enough, why I couldn't able to live a debt-free life. You must find a primary source. If you don't flip the income model now, the game stays rigged. But once you flip it, that is where you start to make an uncapped leveraged income, the cash flow first, which is not tied up to the time. One thing I like to make it clear, the net worth, what they say with the debt, the net worth without time freedom, without self-worth is meaningless and worthless. That's how 97% are staying stuck with their game. You must come out of it, rescript it in such a way, time is not money, time is life. Focus on achieving the time freedom first by changing your income model from left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. Now get the cash flow which is not tied to the time, that becomes an uncapped while leveraging the OPT, OPM and an automated business model. That's where exactly you start to live with your family together while making a uncapped leverage income, the cash flow, and then after you can diversify. See, the 3% don't wait to retire. No, they design the time freedom first. You're going to ask you this.
Are you still selling your time?
Either in your job or small business or self-employment, brick and mortar business, or
are you ready to flip the script? Either this or that.
Because even if you're going to keep selling your time, oh, that is what it is, playing safe and secure and comfortable, that is no way gonna change your life. We did that for how many years?
23 years.
No, let them say, they know it. Whereas we flip the script within the 10 months, we retire early, and in 4 years time now, for the past 23 months, we have been traveling full time with our family by being together, owning our own clock completely. So it's up to you. If this triggers something inside you, drop below or DM us freedom or drop a comment. We are here to show you exactly how to do with the 3-step model of what we did. Let's go. Let's make it happen. If not, we are going to conduct another Escape the Job Trap masterclass on live in Zoom by the coming Tuesday 7 p.m. again. For the first come first serve, only 10 people. The seats are already filling up. Drop below freedom. Either way, we are here to help you because we are here to live our life to the fullest with our birthright of abundance, affluence, freedom and prosperity. We succeed together.